Ego is the greatest obstacle to any form of success. When we are winning, it puffs us up unnecessarily and makes us arrogant. When we are failing, it makes us hate ourselves and we lose confidence. The author Ryan Holiday defines ego as, quote, an unhealthy belief in our own importance. In this summary, we take a look at how having a healthy relationship with ego will yield the best outcomes in life and tools for doing so. This is Detox Dan presenting the top 5 takeaways of Ryan Holiday's Ego is the Enemy. Takeaway number 1. Forever a student. Genghis Khan is arguably the most successful conqueror in history. His empire stretched from China all the way to Eastern Europe. The thing that was so unique about Genghis Khan was that he always studied the new cultures he came across with rigorous detail. If he ran into military tactics, technology, or political strategies that were superior to his own, he absorbed them without ego. He kept the well-educated men in each territory alive and traveled with translators to be able to converse with them. The knowledge acquired snowballed over time, and he became perhaps the most brilliant military mind to ever walk this earth. Great success comes from always winning ground in whatever endeavor you are interested in. There is no breakthrough moment like the ego loves to visualize, but small and steady wins every day. To achieve this, you must always remain a student in your field. You have to absorb everything you can about your subject. Most of us are willing to have this mindset early on in a career. However, when a bit of success starts to come our way, we become ignorant. Quote, as our island of knowledge grows, so does the shore of our ignorance. Unquote. We start to operate from a position where we are supposed to know it all already. This is extremely dangerous to progress. There is no finish line when it comes to learning. The ego doesn't get to be done and relax in the sunbed. Once you've absorbed the crucial facts about a topic and put the relevant information in your arsenal, it is on to the next. Being a student keeps us humble. It lets us put our ego and ambitions in someone else's hands and makes us okay with exposing our flaws. This way, there's no room for ego, only progress. Takeaway number 2. Talk versus silence. Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know. Lao Tzu. When we start out on a new journey, we are often excited and scared at the same time. To cover up for the insecurity of diving headfirst into something new and unfamiliar, the ego looks for comfort elsewhere. Mastering a new skill or building a new business is painfully difficult. It involves sitting endless hours, day in, day out, with little to no progress at times, with no real tangible rewards in sight. To make up for this grueling process, we end up talking about what we're going to do instead. Talking about our great plans is always easy, and it triggers similar reward pathways in the brain as actually accomplishing things. Smart, right? Except now we don't get anything done. Talking also fights for the same resources as doing. Quote, the only relationship between work and chatter is that one kills the other. Unquote. We often mistake silence for weakness. Our culture today is promoting a talk strategy. Social media encourages us to fill out the blank spaces and share what's on our minds at all times. And who wants to hear about the real struggle of improving when we can give an altered, more glamorous picture of our grind? But in reality, silence is strength. When you are confident, you can choose to stay out of a conversation because you have no need for validation. You can work quietly in the corner, face your demons, and watch how much faster you improve. Takeaway number 3. Stay on your path. The chatter or wealth of other people can be a major distraction. Maybe your friend just made millions in Bitcoin while you just failed an important exam. Tempting to jump ships, right? The ego can never be satisfied with what it has. Anyone who's running faster than you in any shape or form is someone worth chasing. Thus, we unknowingly speed up and run in a bunch of different directions. But what if they are running in a race that you don't actually want to compete in? What if there's an infinite number of races and you get to define the rules of the one you are participating in? Instead, you want to act like the tortoise in Aesop's fable. going slow and steady on your path without leading astray. Feel free to be inspired by the Detox Dan Tortoise as well, by the way. To define what your path should look like, you must figure out what is important to you. This can't be done with the greed of the ego present. We have to sit down and reflect deeply. Stare at the question until answers emerge. Then hang on for dear life to the things that you find matters. Only once you've done this, you will master the ability to say no to dumb and worthless races. Your own path should be just about doing the best you can with what you have, without getting distracted by crossing paths. That's all there is to it. Quote, all of us waste precious life doing things we don't like, to prove ourselves to people that we don't respect, to get things that we don't want. Unquote. Takeaway number 4. Effort is enough. Since several minutes have passed since I told a military anecdote, let's get back to it. Belisarius is one of the greatest military generals in history, yet most of us has never heard of him. He fought for Rome under the Emperor Justinian and saved the civilization on several occasions. Despite this, he was never granted any rewards. He was instead met with suspicion and paranoia and got stripped of his titles. Although this treatment was highly unfair and would have got under most people's skin, Belisarius himself never complained, not even in his own notes. He knew how to lead an army and how to win battles, and that was enough for him. This book also covers several people who never got promoted for their hard work, or some who even said no to promotions. In the latter case, they argue that it was easier to remain a student and they had more room to improve while the responsibility didn't match their level of skill yet. We will never be able to control how our hard work will be received. Praise or material rewards will never be guaranteed. Therefore, we must find doing the right thing and meeting our own standards enough to motivate us. The ego will have a hard time investing energy in something where a tangible reward is not guaranteed. But when we come from a place of no ego, knowing you did the right thing is the reward. Takeaway number 5. Meditate on the immensity. A monk is a man who is separated from all and who is in harmony with all. Evagrius Ponticus. Sometimes, when we are in awe, we can feel like we are connected to the universe. It might happen when you look up at the stars on a particularly still and clear night or come across a stunning view of nature. There is a certain underlying energy in that feeling, like we are in harmony with everything. When we are in this state, which is a state of no ego, we let deeper questions emerge like, who am I? What am I doing here? What is my role in this world? Sitting with these questions tames the ego and lets us see the bigger picture of the universe. Material success, however, and the stress and distraction that comes with it, pulls us in the opposite direction. When we are fully immersed in external things, it feels like a part of our soul is missing. That is the reason most people find success so empty when they achieve it. So, we have to get back in sync with nature and let the fact of how small we are humble us. Many successful people have had periods where they went out into the wilderness to remove themselves from all distractions. There, in isolation, they got back to the roots of what being a human being is and came back with great inspiration and a master plan. That was it for my top 5 takeaways of Ryan Holiday's Ego is the Enemy. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and I'll see you next time.